Creepers. Good morning, afternoon, or evening to you, you crazy creep, for tuning in and creeping with. It's a beautiful day. We are up and at 'em doing some creeping this morning. We're heading into Portland. I'm catching the train. We've got the Creeper Cruiser ready to rock. We're heading into Northeast Portland. If you're a fan of the old school Portland cable access days, and none other than Jim Spags, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned. And if you don't know who Jim Spags is or was, you're not going to want to miss this one. A very unique Portland icon, had a very weird history in Portland, and today we're going to document something that a lot of Portlanders may or may not remember. I sure do. Stay tuned. Jim Spags, Happy Doodles Day. We're waiting for the train. Alright, just boarded the train, got the Creeper Cruiser hung, and we're heading into Northeast Portland. This is definitely a weird one. You guys remember Jim Spags? If not, you probably will after today. Yeah, as we get closer to Northeast Portland too, I'll tell you guys more about the old Portland cable access days, who Jim Spags was. You guys probably know, if you're from Portland, you may have heard of him. He actually ran for mayor at one point too. James Spags. He visited his final resting place about 5, maybe 10 years, maybe 5-6 years ago. And a lot of Portlanders remembered him, so we're doing an iconic piece of his legacy here in Portland today. It's going to be a good one. Hollywood District now approaching. Looks like they're doing a bunch of construction here still, but we're heading over to 45th. This is 42nd. And as you can see, all this new construction going on here at Hollywood. But we have made it to Northeast, so we are doing some creeping. All right, we have arrived Northeast Portland. And as always, I want to be respectful to the new owners, but right here, 5620, back in the, well, I would say early 90s, about 93, 94, what is the show today, Inside Edition, back then was a current affair, and none other than Portland cable access star Jim Spags was featured on that show with his neighbor who lived right here, 5620. Hi, doggy. Northeast, what is it, 45th, I believe. And that all took place right here. A very iconic moment in Portland cable access history. And as you can see here, the Blue House, which is, I believe, brand new. I did find some pictures of when this blue residence was actually Jim Spags' house. Ironically enough, they do have a camera on the corner of their house, which Jim Spags had a ton of cameras because he was a local Portland cable access star. Now, if you guys don't know Jim Spags, James Spagnola, we actually visited his final resting place about 5 years ago. He was a Portland cable access star host. You know, cable access, he would rent cameras from Metro East, I believe it's now called, but back then it was PCA, Portland Cable Access. And they would rent you these big cameras, and Jim would walk around town and record and document things. And he was kind of controversial. Well, actually not really kind of controversial. He was very controversial because he chose to do his cable access show nude. Well, he had a t-shirt on, but that was about it. And he would have people call in, and he had all kinds of funny sayings like Happy Doodles and Viddy the Show. So if you guys aren't familiar with him, you definitely want to probably pull up some old YouTube videos of Jim Spags. You definitely get a kick out of him. He was definitely kind of controversial and a very unique, kind of artsy kind of guy. I always thought he was neat. You know, his whole thing was nudity is not dirty, and that we should be able to have, you know, free speech and things. And back then it was a little questionable because people didn't they weren't subjected to that. So he kind of brought the first raw live call-in kind of style to Portland Cable Access. It was really ahead of its time. Nowadays, with YouTube, people can go live and have people chime in and call, but he kind of originated all that. But right here behind me was his neighbor, Ed Dakota, and they actually got into a brawl right out front here, which enticed a current affair to come do a full story, and at that point it went national. So yeah, as stated, brand new property here, but this would have been the home to Jim Spags, and on that day KGW came to town as well, one of our local newscasts here, and kind of documented the whole ordeal. And really this house that Ed owned, dubbed, which Jim kind of made up a nickname for him, the Indian Welder, because he was an Indian and also I believe was a welder. But as you can see, even from all back then, the door's still blue, the same color of the paint. So all that kind of took place. And when Current Affair came here, there was actually like a chain link fence dividing both houses. And so they were interviewing Ed Dakota here, the neighbor, about his, problems with Jim. And then they would actually talk with Jim and let him tell his side of the story. But apparently the neighbors did not get along. And apparently Ed did not like the fact that Jim lived next door to him and would video him. In fact, they ended up going to court, Jim actually suing Ed for millions of dollars and actually losing because the judge and the jury decided that Jim kind of led on the aggression by, kind of videoing him, and kind of, his privacy laws and stuff like that weren't like they are now. But the judge took into consideration that Jim basically waited for Ed to come home every day and would stand out front here and video him and shoot him with the hose and all kinds of stuff. And they would get into it where they were actually jumping over fences and punching each other. And it was pretty wild, where Jim actually caught an assault charge. And I think he fought it and ended up losing. But all that took place right here many years ago. Portland Cable Access still doing their thing as of today, but definitely Jim Spags, kind of the founder, the history of, I wouldn't say the founder, but really putting Portland Cable Access and other creators, giving them an opportunity to really, be free speech and things like that. So that all took place right here. And I also found some shots when Current Affair was here interviewing Jim. At one point, Jim would set up a hose in his yard, and when Ed would come home, he would spray him with the hose. And finally, Ed decided he was going to get his revenge. He actually hopped over the fence and let Jim have it, punched him right in the mouth. And Jim ended up suing him, like I said, and he lost. And this was all over Ed Dakota taking Jim Spags' girlfriend, who was actually on the show a few times. So Jim wasn't too happy about that and kind of let him have it. So it was just it was more comedic for me back then to see it as a kid and go, oh my gosh, Jim Spags. I remember calling and pranking his live call show, and then to see all that, get national news on a Current Affair was pretty wild. So flip this around, a lot of cable access history right here, Portland, Oregon. As you can see, the chain link fence too. This was kind of the style of fence. What was the style of fence? It was kind of like on the side of the house right here. And this house, like I said, it didn't look anything like this. It actually was like a one level, like a mobile home or something. And Jim had his cars out front, but he would post up a camera up in that window. And anytime Ed would come home, he would give him the business. So yeah, that all happened right here. Portland, Oregon, cable access, man. I definitely miss Jim Spags. And if you guys are a fan, or you do want to learn more about old Jim, go to my playlist and check out the headstone. It's pretty cool. He was very ahead of his time when it came to, social media and things being as far as they've come now. So took me a while to find it, but man, old Portland cable access history right here behind us. Jim Spags. Did you guys ever call and prank him? We sure did. We'd call in the live call-in shows, and he was always so nice to us kids. We were always so mean to him. But he was such a cool cat, and I know a lot of Portlanders remember his, Happy Doodles and Viddy the Show and Mamma Mia, somebody run off with the Strumble. I mean, he had all kinds of weird little sayings, and and knickknacks and stuff. A lot of Portlanders didn't really like him. They were like, wow, what the heck is this guy doing naked on TV? But it was all for art. It was all for free speech, and nudity is not dirty. But there you have it, Jim Spags' old house and the Indian welder incident. Comedy. Speaking of keeping Portland weird, this is cool. I rarely get over this way, so I'm just kind of really soaking in all of the arts in Northeast Portland. But this big bird here, Hitchcock would be proud. Speaking of keeping Portland weird, Ravens welcome. Collie neighborhood. That's pretty cool. The Portland Crows would be proud as well. Alright, moving along. Yeah, it's kind of cool just to document this area too. We never get out this way, so pretty dang cool. Pretty dang cool. Alright, I'm going to cross over while we can. That was neat seeing Jim Spags' old house too, man. That guy was such a comical guy. And in hindsight, I'm like, man, I miss him even more. As kids, we pretty much just pranked him and gave him, you know, a bunch of crap all the time. But I always thought he was interesting and very brave to kind of push the limits as to what, you know, was considered free speech and what was nudity and sexual. He played a lot of nude beach videos behind his show and stuff, so folks didn't really know how to handle that. We liked it as kids, though. Another Portland relic, the Wilshire Tavern. They're doing some construction here, so we got to be careful. Thank you. And I believe this was once owned by a Portland wrestler. I could be wrong, but I do love the old school signage, the old neon. Yeah, I can't remember what Portland wrestler owned this, but I think it was Vaughn something with the old American fencing signage too. Man, that thing's a relic. Yeah, if you guys remember, let me know. But it was Von Hooser, I believe it was. And I think he went on to do the WWF as well, but at one point he came back to Portland and owned that tavern. I think they even have some relics of when he wrestled in there. So that's pretty dang cool. Yeah, Northeast. We don't ever get out this way. We are currently on Northeast Shaver and 42nd. I need a coffee like nobody else. All right. Because he creeps. Vote for Spags. Oh, look at this. We're on a mission, Mike. Sorry, I can't slow down today. But I always love seeing your work. All right, just creeping up Fremont now. Pizza Nostra. I have not seen these guys, but what caught my eye was, speaking of Mike Bennett, they got the big chunk here, or not chunk, but Sloth from Goonies. Baby Ruth. And check this out, a whole bunch of art on the inside, including, check out that Marge Simpson there. That's pretty dang cool with the green hair. Oh, it's the Homer in the Hedge one. Ah, that is hilarious. Yeah, we'll have to give these guys a whirl. That's pretty funny, though. And the Baby Ruth. Oh, look at this. They even have the turtles out here on the table. That is awesome. Oh, they are open. Yeah, maybe I'll go in and grab a slice real quick. Yeah, I think I will. We got Garfield here, too. This place is pretty dang cool. I'm going to have to try them and do that now. Yeah, this is rad, dude. Glad I popped in. Got all this art all through here. I'm grabbing me a slice of pepperoni real quick. We got Beetlejuice, the cartoon Beetlejuice. There's the Marge, the Homer in the Hedge. We got Biggie here too. Yeah, a ton of artwork all through here. So I'm gonna grab my slice and then we'll give it a whirl. This is cool, man.
Okay.
So we just met the owner too, man. This place is rad. You said you've been here since how long?
So the shop's been here since 2011, actually. I started in 2012 and then took over January 1st, 2020.
Looks really good, man. Thank you so much for the great hospitality right when I walked in too. This place is rad, dude.
I appreciate it.
I'm excited too. I'm a pizza connoisseur, so this should be perfect.
I think you'll like it, man.
All right, on.
Try that focaccia next time.
Nice, bro. Thanks. Nice to meet you too, brother.
Nice to meet you too,
Okay,
man.
peace out. Check out the channel. I'll see you in the comments.
Creeper?
Yep. You'll see my ugly mug. Later, bro.
I'll check you out.
All right. Slice achieved. And like I said, they got a ton of really cool art in here, so come on in, check them out. And we're going to dive right into this pizza. In fact, I think I'm going to go back out front and sit at the table because I did see something else at the table. All right, pizza achieved. Whoop, I don't want my napkins to blow away. Slice achieved here. And check this out, we're sitting at the turtle table. But we could also sit over here with the Noid. Avoid the Noid. That's got some Portland ties too. It was actually created here in Portland. Will Vinton Studios. Avoid the Noid. So cool. Alright. Got a big old slice here. This thing is enormous. $5, not bad. $6 with tip, because I always like to take care of people that are in the service industry, because I definitely worked the service industry for many years, and I always tip good. Man, that is really dang good. I've had a lot of pizza this week, but that is good. Nice and flavorful, not too burnt, or nice and crispy. I mean, pizza's kind of pizza, but I like the thin New York like that. And that pepperoni, I like that it's kind of burnt on the edges. That's the way to do it. The burnt edges. That was good. That is good. What a cool spot. Great owner, too. I always like meeting the owner. Hands down, great place, man. Thank you. All right, that was good. And I told the owner, by no means am I any kind of food critic, but if I was to grade you, I'd say a 9.5 out of 10. That crust was really good, nice and crispy. The little pepperonis had a little bit of grease left in them. It was good. And also, I told them if I was grading you, giving you a score on the hospitality and the customer service and the nostalgia and the coolness of your building, it would definitely be 11 out of 10, if not higher. So good times. All right, we're heading back to the Creeper Cave. That's going to do it for today. If you guys are new here, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. That'll dial you into being a creeper today. You can also ring that bell. That way when I creep, you guys will be the first to creep. And if you did enjoy this, give it a thumbs up. Till next time, Creeper out for now. Peace.